The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez.
Well, Spain's most famous judge, Baltasar Garzón, known for ordering the arrest of Chilean dictator Augusto Pinochet, was himself found guilty yesterday of authorizing illegal recordings between clients and their lawyers in a corruption case involving the Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy's People's Party. Spain's Supreme Court has banned Garzon from the legal profession for 11 years, effectively ending his career as a judge. The court also said he could not appeal the ruling. Some Madrid residents expressed disappointment at the outcome of the case.
I think Garzon has done the best he can, and what he did, I think, is right. He didn't do anything wrong. And whether he did or he didn't, he's the only one to have ever done something for this country. So I think the decision is incorrect.
In addition to ordering Pinochet's arrest, Judge Garzon used the doctrine of universal jurisdiction to investigate war crimes and torture across national lines, famously indicting Osama bin Laden and others of al-Qaeda in 2003, and opening investigation into the potential criminal liability of Bush administration officials for acts of torture at Guantánamo. Garzon still has 2 other cases pending against him, including allegedly exceeding his authority by investigating atrocities committed by supporters of the dictator Francisco Franco. The human rights crimes came during Franco's reign from 1936 to 1975. More than 100,000 opponents of the regime were executed or disappeared. While prosecutors reportedly disagreed with the charges that Garzon had exceeded his authority, Spanish law allows civilians to lodge criminal charges. Well, to talk more about the ruling against Judge Garzon, we're joined by Brody, counsel and spokesperson for Human Rights Watch in Brussels. He was observing Garzon's trial in Madrid, is now with us in New York. Can you just tell us what happened?
Sure. Well, as you said, there were 3 cases against Garzon. I mean, this was a concerted effort by his enemies within the conservative Spanish judiciary, essentially to get rid of him. And the first case, accusing him of failing to apply Spain's amnesty law, got such a bad reaction internationally. But other cases were leapfrogged in front of that. And in this case, he ordered that the alleged ringleaders of a massive corruption scandal, over 120 million euros, $180 million, involving payoffs within the now ruling Popular Party, he ordered that the defendants be wiretapped because allegedly the lawyers who were in conversation with them were laundering the money. And in fact, one of the lawyers was actually indicted for money laundering. He ordered the wiretaps on the recommendation of a prosecutor. When the case was moved to another jurisdiction, the new prosecutor recommended the wiretaps, and the new judge continued the wiretaps. And despite the fact that one of the lawyers was, in fact, indicted for laundering the proceeds of this scandal, the wiretaps were quashed. That's okay. What then happened, though, is that he was actually prosecuted by the defendants. And the conservative judiciary accepted the case, and he has now been convicted of having abused his authority by ordering these wiretaps.
Well, I mean, it almost seems that as long as he was willing to deal with cases internationally, that it was okay by the Spanish judiciary. But as soon as he began to look at the Franco regime, the atrocities of the Franco regime, or begin to zero in on possible corruption within his own government, suddenly they went out to get him.
Well, he's made a lot of enemies, particularly in the Popular Party, but also let's not forget that his actions resulted in the indictment of a socialist interior ministry for supporting death squads in the Basque Country. So he had made enemies on both sides of the spectrum, and this was really a concerted effort to cut him down to size, which a massive attack on the independence of the judiciary and a very brave judge.
So what can't he do right now, and we have less than a minute?
Well, he can't serve as a judge in Spain, and this is really for him. That's not it's not he who will suffer. It's Spain. It's all of those of us who look to the Spanish judiciary to take on the tough cases, to investigate Guantánamo. The Salvadoran and Argentinian and Chilean victims who went to the Spanish judiciary because there was a judge there willing to apply the law. And now that judge is being...
Bush administration officials being investigated for torture at Guantánamo?
As well. He was the one who opened the investigation into Guantánamo. That investigation remains open, but the fact that the judge who opened the investigation is now being cast aside is a warning that Spain will tolerate only subservient judges.
We'll leave it there. Brody, we thank you very much for being with us. Counsel and spokesperson for Human Rights Watch in Brussels has been observing the trial of Judge Baltasar Garzón in Spain. Judge Baltasar Garzón has been convicted.